Hello and welcome to the cricket show. You've seen many cricket shows in the past, but what you're going to see today is something quite spectacular. If I say you're going to see mind-boggling stuff, that will be an understatement. This is my arm, and you can see it's reasonably straight, and even if I want to push it back, there's not much I can do. Now, let's take a look at Murlidharan's arm. Now, this is his arm, right? Let me see if I can straighten it. I cannot. Now, this is something he's born with. It's not that he can straighten it overnight. He cannot. I'm trying to straighten it here, and you cannot straighten it. And look at the angle, not only of the flex here, this angle here, but the way it goes outside. Okay, now, that is what makes him different. This is something he's born with. And that is why when his action has to be the way it is. Now, what he can do more than others is he's got wrists that are like rubber. They're like elastic. He can rotate it and is more flexible with it than a lot of other bowlers in world cricket. But the most important thing is something nobody has. Nobody playing the game has at the moment, a kind of shoulder Murlidharan has. Now this will clear a lot of arguments once you see him bowling and once you can see what the shoulder can do. And that's why it gives you that kind of illusion that at times there's a jerk and, he's chucking the ball. The movement he can make with the shoulder is quite amazing. Well, I'm now with a man who was instrumental in getting this brace made for Murlidharan in the shape of his natural arm. Now, I'm going to talk to Dr. Dhillon because not only do I want to know about what's different with Murli's arm, but also something more about that shoulder. Doc, what prompted you to do this?
Well, because I believed in him, number one, and they came and talked to us about this. We said the only way we can try and disprove it to the lay people is to make sure that there's no movement at the elbow when he's trying to do this. And as has been proven by the Australians, by other people, he's got extra movements at the shoulder. And if you want, I can show you what these extra movements at the shoulder are.
Would love to. Now, this is fascinating. Just take a look. I mentioned about the shoulder being different. Now have a look. Talk us through this.
Now, most people have a certain amount of rotation, which is called external rotation towards the outside. Well, if you look at his shoulder here, it's been proven by both the Australians and by what we looked at is that he has got extra movements in the shoulder in this direction. This is known as external rotation. And when he brings it here and he does his dusra like this, he's actually moving his shoulder, not his elbow.
So what you're trying to say, this movement is abnormal. It's not normal with
No, it's not normal.
If you have to do it, Doc.
If you look at my shoulder, I can't take it beyond a certain level. Whereas he can bring his elbow in and take it. I have to shift my whole body to do it.
And all this with hardly any flex.
No, that's his fix. He's got extra movement here, which helps him in his bowling action, which according to the law today is legal. He's got extra movement at the wrist, which helps him in his bowling action, and which according to the law today is legal. We've tied up his brace, with a brace we tied him up. He used this and he used this, and he can give you the same delivery. Although he's uncomfortable with the brace, but he can still give you a reproducible delivery, what is called as the dusra.
That is simply amazing. You can see he's born with it. It's not something that he's manufactured overnight. Only his father will tell us how that happened, but outstanding stuff. Thanks, Doc. Look at this. There's absolutely no way someone can bend this. These are all steel rods and it's heat molded plastic around it and it can't move. It's rock solid. Now I'm going to give this ball to Murli, who has the brace on. The action, at least till he runs up, is going to be a little different because he cannot bend his arm. But you judge for yourself if the balls are turning or not. Off spin, flipper, dusra, as well as the top spinner. Have a crack with it. That's the off spinner, and that spun a long way. Remember, the start of his run-up could be a little different. That's because he just cannot bend his hands. He's got that brace on. The delivery is going to be the same. Now, the top spinner. Oh, beautiful. That's the top spinner. Now, you'll see the dusra. This dusra delivery can pitch and go straight, but it leaves the right-hander as well. It's a unique delivery. What Murli did earlier was bowl without a batsman in sight. Now he's going to bowl in match conditions, and he's going to be bowling to a man who knows a thing or two about batting. 14 test match hundreds for Australia, and he's played a lot of cricket against Murlidharan. Slats, go and have a hit and tell us what you think.
Thanks, mate. And I want to say that when I played against Murli, I love the challenge because he's been one of the best spin bowlers in world cricket. But I never ever thought he was a chucker, because to me it was always an optical illusion. And I knew that he had this wrist, he had this, I've now learned about the shoulder rotation. I thought it was just all this ability to flex his wrist. He's just a genius and a one-off.
We've seen it all. It was quite amazing stuff. Bowling with a brace, bowling without a brace. I've got Michael Slater with me. Michael, you see so many bowlers around world cricket with seriously questionable actions. I just feel that it is unjust for a man like Murli to be scrutinized the way he has been over the years, and to be penalized for not bowling a particular delivery, to be singled out.
I totally agree, and I've thought that right through. I think it's become a joke, and Murli is the world record holder at the moment and shouldn't be victimised like he has been throughout his career, and it's got to be sorted out. I mean, it was a privilege to be here today, to witness all that, to actually face him, and it was the same Murli I've faced in Test cricket, with and without the brace, and that's something that no one else has faced him with the brace on, without, and I can tell, and as I said earlier, I'm going to go back home to Australia. I'm going to tell as many people as I can that I've seen proof that Murli does not chuck.
Yes, and you know, he comes across as an extremely brave man to do this kind of something for us with all the cameras around, where we can say anything we want, but to have the guts to come out and do it live with a brace, without a brace, I think tells you something more about the human being.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's such a strong character, and to do that, I mean, if he felt his action was in any way dodgy, do you think he'd be doing this? You know, he's really trying. You know what he's suffered because he was born with a unique arm, unique shoulder, unique wrist, and it's not his fault. He's got this unique action. We're not going to see another Murli at all because he was born like that.
Well, that's it from the cricket show. From Michael and me, join us again. Let me tell you, there can be only one Murlidharan. If there has to be another, senior Murli has to get on the job again.